Hello, all. I know not what you were expecting, right? Hello, Crazy Chester. Hello, Mile High Trish. Hello, Miss Kukla. Hello, Gary Seven. Hello, Grandma Sally. How is everybody this evening? What a see a countdown. What the heck? Hello, Whip. Hello, Deborah. This is what Zester looks like when he's not taking care of himself and he looks older than he should. Oh, hello, Jody. Hello, Captain Spiffy. Hello, musical lady. Yes, I'm here to do greetings and stuff. Zester tied up on another work call, Zoom call, and then he's coming over to take the helm. So he's like, Dad, can you fill in? I was like, yes, please. Since he covers my butt all the time, I was like, I'm at the computer anyways. Hello, Bear775. Hello, Mile High Trish. Hello, Mary Jones. See? Nobody was expecting me. I don't feel any love anymore. Zester better turn back in time for the med bed. Hello, Carla Marie. Yeah, exactly. It's payback time, Whip. I owe him. Gary, the day is good. Hello, Tito and Teto in Switzerland. Day's going well. Keeping awfully busy. I'm here to make small talk. What do you guys want to talk about while we wait? Hello, Bendy. While we wait for Zester to bounce back in and join us. Could be as long as 10 minutes. You might be stuck with me. So let's have some fun. Hello, Sassy. Hello, Randy Moore. Oh, wow. Bear's going to turn 70 tomorrow. Man, happy pre-birthday. Yeah, everybody wants us. See, I get it. Hello, LG lady. How's crypto related to your art? Well, crypto and RV is very related, and people haven't figured out just how much because of the blockchain technology that we'll be using. We all have different names for it. Some of you call it QFS or quantum. Yeah, Savic, I love that one. Zester's letting all the stress get to him. Bear, you are welcome. I'm just reading some of these, hanging out with you guys. Let's see, where's my wallet ID for me to get my NFT? Depends on what wallet, Captain Spiffy. Do you know what wallet you? I assume that you have set up a software wallet, whether that is, I don't know. Some folks use Lobster, some use it in Coinbase, some use Trust Wallet. I don't know which one you may have set up. You'll have to have him walk you through picking it out. I could find it if I were in front of you. He'll know. Hello, Miss GG. Wait. See, I don't have access to his full back office like he does mine. He's never given me admin rights, so I can't even highlight you guys' chats. I can't I'm missing like all kinds of functions in the back office. Bam, there you go. But she could. So you're just stuck with me. Do you need a trust for crypto? No, but you could just use Trust Wallet. All right, see, Captain Spiffy uses Coinbase. Let me pull up my Coinbase on my phone and see if I can find where on mine. Boom, just hit Coinbase. I assume you use it on your cellular device or your smartphone. See, I'm waiting for it to pop up. Send by, oh, got yours up here. You're going to want to hit the button that says receive. Oh, wait a minute. I've not opened or signed up into my account here. But you got two buttons here. You got to receive, you got to send, and you got a wallet button. It's going to be either the receive or the wallet button to receive it. Yep. I got to create an account first, and it'll tell you what your wallet is and your code. That's what he's going to need. Oh, iPad, same idea. It's an app. You'll have a wallet button when you open it up. You'll hit that. That or the receive button, one of the two. I'm trying to remember which. Fortunately, we'll have them back in just a little bit. Ooh, Deborah asked, do you guys do crypto liquidity pools? Just learned about that as an income stream. Deborah, Zester has done a program, one, maybe two on that already. But yes, they are a very cool way. If you don't plan on unloading, let's say you're holding your crypto, a certain one for a extended period of time, you're not going to let it go. You have great faith in its long-term ability. You can put it in a liquidity pool. You never risk your currency. You just have it locked up for a while, but you'll earn on it. Yeah, Zester's on a call, so I'm just filling in for a little bit, folks. I can't even like highlight things. So I can't even like put up articles and share cool stuff. The Dow closed over 40,000. Everything's good in the world, right? Everybody's making a fortune. MetaMask works for a wallet for an NFT. Probably a great one, so you don't, cloud other stuff. He's not on a podcast. He's on a business Zoom call. So yeah, did I say pod? Anyways, he's on a business Zoom call. He will be bouncing over soon. He will be soon. Till then, you're just stuck talking to me. What do you guys want to talk about? Anything where I don't have to show you on the with a screen or an article. Hello. Reading Mary Jones and Mile High Trish. Robert, I'm with you. Get your assets off exchanges. Boy, that's the stinking truth of it. Mile High Trish, let me take a look for bank stories while we're at it. Mile High Trish, with MetaMask, you can set up a separate wallet, super easy just for it. Yes, you can. It is an easy way to do it. I mean, even this old guy set up MetaMask. Yeah, Gary, Cat's great. I love that one. She was here a minute ago. Oh, crazy Chester. Hey, look, it's not my channel. Maybe nobody will find me here if I share bond news. I mean, because the bond news has just been stunning with news coming in, settlements, final paperwork, etc. You're about to see an obscene amount of money moving, and that's the best I'm going to give on the bond side of it until probably Monday or Tuesday. I have to play dumb until then. Robert, let's talk about Sleepy Joe. Boy, wouldn't that be a fun one to talk about? I mean, a really fun one to talk. Any of you guys heard John Rich's new song, Revelation? Just dropped like early this morning, last night, something like that. I have a new bank story. Called the bank direct, Medford Chase, for the lady who helped us reopen an account. At that time, private banker answered right away, soon, but not Zim. There you go, Chase. And now this would not be unusual because I've heard from a number of banks that they are familiar with the Zim, but I am told that they have somewhere else to send you if you go for that there are a smaller number of locations on that front. But I have had a number of bank stories similar to that, Carla Marie, where they have said the same thing, where they'll say yes to the NAR, yes to the Dong, yes to the Indy, yes to this, and this, but no to the Zim for them, for that type location. I love that. Carla Marie, thank you for sharing that one. Gary, I've not had an opportunity to read a good book recently, but I have 2 or 3 on the bedside table waiting for me. See, I love this one. Hello, Miss Hearn. It's good to see you. Mile High just said, that's exciting to hear from you, Carla Marie, since we know you're a real person. Extremely. That's what I love when you guys share your banking stories in chat instead of sending them to me. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind it when you send them to me at all and let me share them and read them, etc. But I do think it carries a little extra weight for all those others that are wondering what's real, what's not. When you guys share yours, Yeah, Kukli, you're right. I definitely need to read more. Definitely need to read more. Ooh, yep. And we had which is going to be a fun one after the Trump prosecution in New York. The lawfare is starting to run both ways. Gateway Pundit did a good one today. Court just nailed Hillary for FEC, Federal Elections Commission, FEC violation 45 times bigger than Trump's 130K so-called violation. They have an actual violation. I believe it's like $6 million. Yeah, $6 million. Washington D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled Tuesday this week that Hillary Clinton campaign and an affiliated super PAC violated federal election law and spending that totaled close to $6 million. The amount in question is more than 45 times the 130K a Manhattan court convicted President Donald Trump of misreporting business records during the exact same 2016 campaign as they ran against each other. It's getting fun. I told Trump, was like, yeah, if I need to go to jail, if you need to find me, whatever, just so it takes the shackles off and we can hold everybody else responsible, I'm good with it. It's my sacrifice. Boomerang. That's right, musical lady. Yeah, Whip just said, I agree. Nice to hear bank stories from those in the MZ community. Well, just our community, period. I wouldn't even care if you're in, like, Bob's, Frank's, Bruce's, Tommy's, whoever's. Deborah, I find it odd that at least 5 local banks and credit unions have done massive remodels in the last year. It is curious, isn't it? And all of them are focusing on wealth management. Yeah. Like Mile High Trick's like, take me down. I'm tired of looking at myself. Oop, trying to knock over my water. Yeah, I can't take you down. There you go. Hello, Dardar. I am definitely good. GTG. And what are the other fun things? Yeah, you probably don't want to know about a recent survey that found 50% of 80,000 questioned small business say they won't survive under the current economic conditions. Yeah, 50% of a small business, this is a massive survey, 80,000 small businesses, 50% of them said, yep, we're not going to survive 4 more years of Bidenomics. We're barely hanging on right now. It's getting just overwhelming right now. Getting overwhelming. I don't know what else to talk about while we're waiting. Yeah, totally not what you guys were expecting, but thank you for being flexible. Yeah, Gary. Zester looks much like his dad. Even sound. He does sound similar. I don't know if he wants to hear it. Carla Marie posted again. This is definitely real. They had a rate, but it comes and goes. Need to meet with the private banker. He wasn't available. She will call me back to set an appointment. Yeah, Carla Marie, I don't know about you, but if they are willing to pull the trigger whenever a rate shows, I would sit at the bank. I would go every day. I would take my trusty water bottle, take my cell phone, maybe a little charging brick, and I'd sit there each day and just, I don't know, play solitaire if I had to until it popped up. Because we know here lately that we're seeing rates pop in a handful of times each week. Deborah Muse, do you think the big guys' massive sell-off in NVIDIA, Amazon, etc. is revaluation related? No, I do not. I think they had bigger expectations of AI than the bubble is producing. We've seen a pattern of that history throughout the history of the stock market, and there aren't real profits coming from AI yet at the level that they had hoped. So they are moving their assets It's a normal like bubble, whatever. You see it, everybody rushes to the great cool new widget thing, and then when it doesn't produce as much as they hoped, they move on to the next one. It's kind of like watching little kids play soccer, and they're all huddling at the ball, and it looks like this little like scrub. What would you call it? And when you get that little mosh pit running around, and they're all following each other, and just a little doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like lemmings. Stock market works that way. Fear of missing out, and they make dumb decisions. Jan Schill, I've heard bad things about Chase refusing large transfers for gold and silver due to fraud. Let's see. Where is that one? Gold. China Bull beats Bullion Bank. The China Hunt brothers take on JP Morgan. That broke late last night. We will be sharing an article on that. VBL did it. China Hunt brothers takes on JP Morgan. There is a good chance that JP Morgan is on the ropes right now over derivatives and some metal deals, and it is stemming out of Asia. Waiting to see what comes out of that one. But Jan, I'm glad you are paying attention. So many of you guys are on top of the cutting edge. Hello, Ms. Nancy Davis. Good to see you. Yeah, right, Whip. I'll hang at the bank and enjoy the coffee, their coffee, while waiting. I have to pee a lot, but I'll just get a little bag. Who was it selling all those? Yeah, I don't ever want to have to go through that. I mean, I say that. My age, I'm certain it's coming in the next, 50 years or so. Oh, where they where is it where they put the tube up? I know there's a term for it, up your winker so you can pee and just put it in a bag. I would do that at the bank for a week. Lemmings was a fun mess to figure out. Thanks for the flashback, Savvy. I'm glad you caught that one. Ureter, yeah, that was it. Catheter, yeah, catheter for urethus. You could be, yeah, that's it. That really could. I mean, come on. If I got to sit there and watch the screens until a rate pops up, if the bank would let me do it and pay me when it pops up, I'd totally go through it. Robert, that's right. Med beds. I'm never gonna have to put up with it. I like those. I don't want to have to do one of those. It does not sound comfortable. It does not sound fun. I want nothing to do with it. I've had lots of friends that have lived through it, and it does not sound pleasant. Yeah, see, I'm with you, Whip. Please, no tube there. I cried just thinking about it. Musical lady, it's been our second job pastime being on the cutting edge of the news itself for the past 3 years. Now, if you think about it, guys, you are uniquely trained and qualified for getting to the root truth of everything because you've had to over the last few years. What's real, what's not? Is my government lying to me? Is the press lying to me? Who's lying to me? You guys are the best at it. Yeah. Oh, whip. That's not. I guess we could just borrow a depend from the presidential stockpile. Then we wouldn't have to go anywhere. Just make certain they're not used, guys. Robert, Mark, you play entirely too much. Catheters are the devil. I'd look, dude. I believe you, Robert. You don't have to convince me. Oh, a gold one. Oh no, there you go. Okay, not worth it. I'm getting the depends. I'll just carry a big bottle. There we go. I'm ready.
What's up, Pops? What's up, Pops?
Oh, the weather's hot but beautiful. We were talking about catheters and whether there were a rate. Would you sit at the bank all week long waiting for it to pop? Because they only pop a few times a week. If the bank's willing to exchange it at that exact moment, would you sit there? It's like, yeah, I'd even get a catheter and sit there so I can just sit there with bated breath waiting. They're convincing me I don't want to do that.
That doesn't sound like a fun time. That does not sound like a fun time in the slightest. And yeah, what is up, everybody? I hope and I know that Pops probably entertained and educated to a perfect level while I was gone there.
No education at all. Hey, but if you want to know, Bitcoin's running at about $57,662 right now.
There you go.
Not bad for something that's horribly reduced in its wealth right now. And all the big boys are talking about how big of a beating it's taken, and it's still killing it.
It has been. It has been. And I would say, for one thing, that I think you and I could probably talk about together for just a second, because it's of interest all around, is actually right over here. And so the override of Biden's veto has failed in the House. And so this was SAB121. It was essentially a unilateral decision by the SEC to regulate all crypto companies based inside of the United States, as if they had to have all personal information for everyone that interacted with their protocol. Keep in mind, we're talking about DeFi. I don't even know your name. I don't know anything about you. I know a crypto wallet address. And so this rule that had been put in place by the SEC restricted all US-based companies to having all of the personal information for everybody that interacted with their protocol. Online and in a decentralized world, that's impossible. It's literally impossible. And that's the reason that the United States has not seen decentralized companies actually be established here. And so not only have they been destroying, really our future wealth, because if the company is developed in another country, they're going to end up being the main
all the money's going there.
Beneficiaries of the entire thing. They're going to benefit, and we're not. And so it was a bipartisan passing. It ended up passing with flying colors in both the House and the Senate. My majority Republicans voted for the bill, but enough Democrats came in to actually get it passed, and Biden vetoed it for absolutely no logical reason. Biden vetoed it, with the only logic being that the one part of it was that it gave the right to control over the commodities instead of securities. And from what I've been able to identify from all the information, that really was the pressure point. It was not a matter of the consumer protection. It was a matter of the regulatory body that controlled the industry. And it seems as if the Democrats are extremely obsessed with cryptocurrency, even if it's backed by assets, being regulated by the SEC and not the CFTC. And so I really think that's actually the biggest reason that Biden vetoed it. And I think there's a lot that can be extrapolated from that. Why are the Democrats so focused on empowering the SEC and so focused on keeping power away from commodities? That seems like a pretty big question mark in terms of what's their logic. Why? Why are they more worried about the SEC than they are on commodities? Why do they want the SEC to have the power?
I think they're terrified.
No, I mean, that would not in any way be all that weird in terms of them nowadays.
Yeah, I think, they're doing their best to continue and hold on to their monopoly. If they allow decentralized companies into the US, they lose their monopoly. And the only way governments hang on to true power in today's world is by controlling your money. If you take away the control of money, what purpose does the state fill? If you didn't need national security, meaning your standing army or whatever, what purpose? Your local county, your local government, your states handle your roads, your whatever. I mean, what purpose does the federal government, if they don't control your central banks, serve?
It leans into all the other questions. If we had blockchains, decentralized authorities that were verifying ownership, verifying identity, what purpose would the government serve at that point in time? Because that's pretty much what they do. They're just there when the corporation, when everyone else comes up and says, "Hey, is Zach?" And the government goes, "Yep, that's Zach," and then they expect a massive amount of payment on account of just telling someone that, yeah, I exist. And it's the same idea with the vast majority of banks and other of the too big to fail industries, where really what they serve, their purpose is something that a computer could have done 80 years ago. They're collecting payments off of something that we could have automated way in the past, would never have been necessary to pay anyone for. It's ridiculous that we go to the bank and the bank tells us if we have money to spend. Think about that.
Has it occurred to anybody here, business owners, checking account, debit card holders, how much it costs every time there's a transaction that's built into the cost of your goods? What, 3.5%, 5% is built into the cost of everything you buy that goes to the banks. If you had decentralized, it would be a fraction of a single penny. You know, all these credit card companies offering you cash back on your purchases, they're doing that because they're making a lot off the processing fee and they want you to use theirs. If we had a decentralized, that is a tick, a parasite on the financial system that wouldn't exist. Totally unneeded. Of course, if you work in credit card processing, guys, you know, you'd probably be job hunting.
Yeah, and there's so many industries that kind of follow the same practice. I mean, look at the very idea of a notary. And I know there may be notaries in the audience, in which case, right now, your job serves a very, very important purpose. When we start to look towards the future with a blockchain,
not needed.
There's no more notaries. You're gone. Like, they're in one. There's not a single one. There won't even be an industry anymore. Just because it's not a matter of saying, hey, we're going to take 50% of the market share away. It's a matter of saying the blockchain's already done it. Technology has already handled the very idea of a notary. We don't need it anymore.
Yeah, I just said David might not make the podcast tonight. David, don't worry. Really, about the only thing other than what's going on in the news that I'm even going to cover this evening are troubled small businesses. The fact that the court just reopened the case for 45 times bigger than Trump's for Hillary for 2016 elections violation that opened the door because they prosecuted them. So it looks like they're really going to be able to roast her with massive number of felonies. I mean, things are getting real interesting. But on the RV front, other than bank contacts, has to work this weekend. They have to put in 2 part-time days this weekend. That's the only other news. Whether or not they actually have to do anything other than sit around, drink coffee, and talk about the weekend that they're missing, I don't know. But that's really it. So if you wanted to skip tonight, I'd be okay. And you got it right here on Zesters. It's crazy kryptonite.
Hey. I got lucky this evening in terms of some of that information being shared here. And so, yes, for those that had asked, the Zoom call went very, very well. And thank you so much, Pops, for jumping in and running those beginning minutes. It was a double booking, and unfortunately, it just wasn't possible to do it any other time.
Hey, look, you've rescued me from introductions. Yeah, you've rescued me from double bookings all the time, so I owed you at least that one. All right, I'm going to get out of here and leave you at the helm.
All right. Hey, love you, Pops.
Love you.
You have fun, and we'll be ready for your stream at 7.
Sounds
You're going
good.
to have new information ready in a matter of an hour and 29 minutes.
I got a couple of calls to make. Hopefully, I'll have something new by then. Bye.
See you, Pops. All right, guys. I am sorry for all the oddities in terms of the stream this evening, but I am so glad to have everyone here. And Mile High Trish, I absolutely agree. Mile High Trish says, I always ask small merchants if they would prefer cash before just handing out a credit card. That is an extremely thoughtful action. because for small businesses, they're losing 3 to, depending on the industry they're in, and say they're in, say it's a bar or tobacco, any type of high risk industry, they're losing far more than just a few percentage points off of every credit card swipe. They're losing up to 10%, depending on the industry, just because you chose to use a credit card. And that's the reason that so many businesses nowadays are starting to say that they give cash bonuses or cash discounts, is because it legitimately is a entire change up to their business. The very idea, and you can think about this: if a business did $100,000 in revenue in a month, and say their fee on a credit card is 5%. And so in that case, that $100,000, that's $5,000 paid to the credit card company. That's a lot of money. That's the reason that it is so important to do those kind of things. It makes a big difference in people's lives when you can pay in cash for those type of industries. And so totally off point in terms of what we were going to talk about today, but an interesting one. An interesting one, because it's the way the world works. And when we look towards cryptocurrency in the future, it's no longer going to be that way. I can make a transaction on any blockchain for the same fee, regardless of whether I'm sending $1 million or a single dollar. It'll be the same fee, always. And that's compliments to the way that the blockchain works. And it makes a really, really big difference when you start to consider the payments that we make on a regular basis. A huge difference when it comes down to businesses and the way that they actually make their capital. Savvy, yep. No, many do. Many charge a flat fee plus percentage of sale. Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. And so I am so sorry for the lack of hellos and everything today. I know Gary and Kukla and everyone else, and Trish and Crazy Chester and Deborah. And I'm scrolling through, and Bear. Thank you guys all so much for joining. I do want to jump right in to the news today because we've had such an odd beginning to the show for a Friday. Let's go ahead and jump directly in. And David, thank you so much for my Apple, man. I appreciate it. I definitely do. And so, yes, what we had discussed there for a second with the OriginalMarkZ in regards to the SEC SAB121 rule, it has been killed, essentially, in the House. Unfortunately, that is the situation. Though the resolution overturning an SEC rule on banks handling crypto passed in the House in May, the legislation required at least 288 members to override President Biden's veto. And, well, we came up awfully short. Came in at 228 votes in regards to the overriding of Biden's veto. First of all, we should be extremely mad because Joe Biden vetoed a bipartisan bill. He vetoed a bipartisan bill that a large amount of Democrats supported and an overwhelming majority of Republicans supported. And it was for no other reason than a matter of protecting the SEC. Why the Democratic Party is so focused on protecting the SEC, I have a lot of questions and a lot of assumptions and a lot of conspiracy theories that I could jump to in regards to that one, because I do believe there seems to be something going on in regards to the SEC. It seems as if it is extremely left-leaning and has been taken over by the Democratic Party. Can I prove that? Of course not, because if I could, well, I wouldn't be here today talking to you. They would have already ensured that that I was very, very, very silent. But it seems as if that was the only reason that Biden actually vetoed the bill in the first place. Biden claimed that he wanted to protect consumer rights and he wanted to protect consumers in regards to cryptocurrency. The bill that he ended up vetoing did every single thing he wanted. Every single thing he wanted. He wanted to ensure that companies were regulated and that they were managed and maintained. Okay, great. I agree. We should do that. We absolutely should. Capitalism requires boundaries. And so he got all of that. He got everything he wanted. The only change up between the bill that he vetoed and what the SEC had previously been doing was that the SEC was classifying it as a matter of SEC jurisdiction. What was being changed in terms of the new bill was that it would be a matter of commodities, the CFTC's jurisdiction. And so it seems as if there was a major pressure point there. And that's interesting. Why? Why is it so important that the SEC is not, well, why is it so important from coming from Biden's point of view? Why is it so important that the SEC is in charge of cryptocurrency? That in and of itself is probably the biggest takeaway, in my opinion. It's because the SEC is the bureaucracy, the establishment, that 3 and 4 letter organization that we need to be worried about. I'm not worried about commodities. Commodities have managed to maintain their general practice as a government regulatory body for a very, very long time without doing anything wrong. It seems as if the SEC is, as we all already know, is a corrupt organization, and not just an extremely corrupt organization, but an organization that is corrupt towards the left, bought and paid for by the Democratic Party. And to me, that's the only logic behind why they would have opposed. Why did Joe Biden oppose this bill in the first place? The news of the day is that the House failed to overturn a veto. We had 60% support in the House and Senate in regards to this override of the SEC's unilateral and absolutely unconstitutional dictate. And now we have got the Biden administration ensuring that it does not come into action. I think that there's something far more to be dug into there, in that obviously we're kind of getting a little bit of information in regards to how some of these regulatory bodies work. It seems as if the SEC is someone we should not trust. And now, of course, I don't think that's new information for the vast majority of people in the community. I understand that already that you don't trust the SEC, but it seems as if it's not just a matter of not trusting the SEC. It seems as if there's genuinely a cancer growing inside of that organization, because there is nothing. I've read the entire bill in regards to the removal of SAB121. And there is no logic around why Biden would have vetoed it. There's none. The only logic is that the regulatory body in charge of managing it changed. And so, if cryptocurrency is a commodity, well, then it should be regulated by the Commodities Exchange. It should be regulated by commodities. If it's a security, it should be regulated by the SEC. But in this case, he was entirely unwilling to even consider the idea of it being managed by CFTC. And I believe that's because they do not want us to know what they've been doing. And they darn certain don't want us to get away from the Democrat-controlled bureaucracy. We live in a world where, our government has inflated and blown up to such a degree that it's huge. Our government and everything in terms of the bureaucracy is absolutely gigantic. And I think that what we're seeing today, more and more so, and I think these cryptocurrency related issues are really making it clear, is that the very idea of lifelong civil workers, people that are supposed to be working for the overall communal good, they're not political. The SEC is not supposed to be political. It obviously is. It's obviously political. If it weren't, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care in the slightest. They care because it is a political organization. It seems as if the vast majority of our bureaucracy has been politicized. And now I'm beginning to question whether there is not a battle going on between commodities and securities, because it seems as if Republicans are supporting commodities, the CFTC, and Democrats are supporting the SEC. Why are we seeing a general split in between the two parties based over bureaucracy? It's not even a political issue. They're choosing which organization needs to be in charge of the issues. And that leads me to far deeper thoughts in terms of what's going on. It's not just a matter of who we vote for. It's a matter of the bureaucracy that they've put into place and that they're now capable of taking advantage of. And it's very, very, very apparent now that the Biden administration is not just worried about protecting the SEC, they're desperate to protect them. He was willing to give up votes when we all know he needs every vote he can get. And he was willing to give up votes in order to make that veto happen. That's a pretty clear indication that something far, far larger is going on in the background. Roby Buck, why do some exchanges have small limit withdrawals? When XRP finally goes up, you can only withdraw 10K a week. Best exchanges in your opinion? Robbie Buck, keep in mind that exchanges have limits on how much you can withdraw or make. And I don't want to say this in a way that in any way is considered offensive, but exchanges dictate the amount you're allowed to withdraw based off of the amount of money you have. So if your account suddenly has, say, $1 million of value in XRP, Robbie Buck, you're not going to have those same kind of issues anymore. You're not going to. What they primarily do is they gatekeep a lot of withdrawals and deposits based off of the amount of money that is sitting inside of a bank account that is connected to that exchange. And so if you connect your bank account to Coinbase and you deposit $10,000 and you give them the vast majority of your personal information, they're going to provide you with the ability to withdraw insane amounts of money on a daily basis. And so I'm not certain what exchange you're using, Robbie, but I'd be happy to give you some suggestions on other options. Personally, when it comes down to it, when I am taking money from my dollar and I am putting it into crypto, I go through Coinbase. That's where I go. I go to Coinbase, I deposit my money into Coinbase, I buy crypto, and I take that crypto off of the Coinbase exchange and I put it into my personal wallets. That has been what I always do. That's how I go about the process. That's what I do every single week. I do the exact same thing. I go in every week, I deposit money to Coinbase, I buy crypto, and I remove the crypto from Coinbase as soon as I can. That has always been the way that I operate, Robbie. it is the lowest fees that you can possibly pay in regards to going to crypto. When you talk about withdrawing, keep in mind that you're always going to have to go through a legal provider. And so in that case, I would also suggest Coinbase in regards to coming back off. And so Robbie Buck, Uphold, Robbie, Uphold is not a bad service, but it is not the best service. You can pay far less on other exchanges for your crypto, and you should never keep your money on an Uphold wallet. Ever, 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 ever keep your money on anyone else's service. If you have paid money to acquire your cryptocurrency, think about it no differently than you would your dinar. Would you willingly give other people all of your dinar, your Vietnamese dong, and just willingly trust some third-party company that you do not know to hold on to your money? I would imagine the answer is no. And it's the same idea here. When your crypto is sitting on Uphold, you are trusting Uphold. You're trusting them with your financial future. If Uphold messes up, well, you just got messed up. And so I always suggest the best thing to do is to get your crypto however you can get it. Get it through the cheapest outlet possible if you do want to own crypto. And then at that point, get it onto a hardware wallet that you own. And at that point, we can take this back to the playground. Remember the idea when you're playing tag and, there's one tree in the yard that's the safe space. As long as your hand's on that tree, you're safe. It's the same idea as Fort Knox and a bank vault. As soon as you get your crypto to your hardware wallet, your crypto is safe. Until then, it is not safe. And so I would highly suggest, and I know that for the vast majority of people, Nancy, I'm pretty certain that you have a hardware wallet and your crypto is over on it. And so you're safe. Yeah. Robbie Buck, buy on Uphold and move to Tangent Wallet. We'll open Coinbase account. Thanks, Cesar. Any of those options. All I suggest to people and all I'm worried about teaching people about is the fact that if you are trusting a company to hold your money, then you do not own your money. And so bring it to your own wallet. And do not bring it to a software wallet. Bring it to a hardware wallet, something you physically hold. The only way to take my money is to take my physical property. I have taken cryptocurrency and I have made it into a physical asset because the only way to take it from me is for me to give it or for you to take a physical piece of equipment away. That's a big difference between the general idea of having just a software wallet where any hacker could technically acquire your money. Yeah, Musical Lady. I was so happy to have my hard ledger wallet to put my crypto in and can breathe a sigh of relief. It is. I know for me, it is always an immediate feeling of relief where I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry anymore. I'm no longer running around worrying that someday my wealth, my investments are going to go away. By having that hardware wallet, I get the crypto there. And I no longer have that as a concern in my life. Not in the same, also, it's similarly, you may be worried that you might be a victim of identity theft where someone's going to steal money from your bank account or things of that nature or run up credit cards. I don't have that worry anymore. My money is safe. No one can take it. And I don't have to worry about being scammed or having anything of that nature occur. But let's jump back in and go through our other two stories today. This is absolutely one that I'm extremely upset about. I'm not surprised about the fact that, of course, the House did not manage to make the 288 votes in order to override Biden's veto. What I am particularly disappointed about is the fact that we don't see the mainstream media blasting him. Keep in mind that Donald Trump only ever vetoed a very, very small amount, and only one was ever overridden. A general necessity to override an executive branch veto is very, very minimal. Biden has not vetoed essentially anything. Biden, I'm actually genuinely curious. How many vetoes has Biden done in his entire administration? Because why would he care so much about this bill and not about the other things? And so he's issued 12 vetoes throughout his administration. And one of those happens to actually be the cryptocurrency bill. And so I think that's particularly important for people to keep in mind. Particularly important is that this is a very, very rare occurrence for us to see a veto of a bill that was a bipartisan bill. Throughout, from what I know, at this point in time, it's probably the only bipartisan bill that Biden has vetoed. There's a reason behind this. This is not just a matter of random choosing. And of course, Robert, was he woke when he did it? Probably not. I think a lot of the times when we talk about the Biden administration, it should just be assumed that we're not talking about Biden himself. We're talking about his handlers. Undoubtedly, it was them that actually made these decisions. Undoubtedly, it was. All right, though, to jump into our last little article here, and then we're going to head off, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me and Pops throughout the odd stream this evening. I hope everyone has enjoyed it and gotten some quality information, or if anything, some quality entertainment from it. But Bitcoin price CPI gains last just 1 hour as Mt. Gox sell-off fears linger. This is something that we've been talking about, guys. Remember that, of course, Mt. Gox has thrown out $9+ billion of Bitcoin out into the market, and it is slowly rolling out. And we are, of course, continuing to see a general fear around the market in regards to it. And so when we look towards the current Bitcoin price, and we see the $57,625 per Bitcoin, I think that we have absolutely got to keep into account the fact that we are operating off of a market that is not based off of fundamentals. It's not a fundamental market at the moment. It's a speculative market. And the market is extremely hesitant because of things like the Mt. Gox releasing of funds, which many people are assuming they will sell. So about $9 billion in sales. Keep in mind, $9 billion in sales when you're looking at a market capitalization of 1.13 trillion is essentially a bare minimum drop in the bucket, but it is enough to keep the market worried. And so whenever you are looking at the prices, guys, in terms of crypto on a daily basis, please keep in mind that overall, it really is not that important. The most important thing is to keep in mind how many of what do you own. Just because your XRP went down today, remember, One XRP is worth one XRP. The price right now, the price today, it is really not a fundamental valuation of its price. It's not based off of fundamentals. It's based off of speculation. So whether it's your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your XRP, your XLM, any of your other crypto assets, please keep in mind one XLM is worth one XLM. One XRP is worth one XRP. One Bitcoin is worth one Bitcoin. Ultimately, these price variations based off of very, very silly news and rumors are not something that are worthwhile getting upset or worried about. The biggest thing or the biggest takeaway really is it's the opportunity to take advantage of it. When you see people start to act silly because of something that is entirely speculative, well, then you have the opportunity to approach that situation from a fundamental perspective and start to look at the value of the cryptocurrencies and start to consider whether it's a worthwhile investment for you. And so, as you are looking at everything going on in the crypto space at the moment, keep in mind nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We're looking at the exact same market, exact same financial system that we did a matter of months ago. All we're doing is moving our way through the cycle. And so thank you guys all so much for joining this evening. I am going to go ahead and bid everyone adieu. I greatly appreciate you being here. We will have more information coming again very, very soon. And of course, on Monday at 5 p.m., the Crazy Cryptonaut will be back live talking about the news, and we'll also be jumping into the lessons. Next week is going to be lesson heavy. The reason being is because this week became so busy with other things that it was difficult to get through a lot of lessons. So expect a lot of homework starting next week. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will see everyone at 7 p.m. over on the OriginalMarkZ. I hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful week. Love y'all.